evening. Welcome to another weekly Elken product sharing session. My name is Lucas Chu and I'm the MC for tonight. The speaker, Mr. Seng is my younger cousin and has been sharing his product knowledge for the past few weeks. He's currently studying at the Xiamen University, majoring in traditional Chinese medicine, and he's also the president of the student council. He's an outstanding 4.0 GPA student and a high achiever in life. I'm sure everyone is anxious to hear what he has to share about the popular and beneficial healthcare product called Kington. So without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Seng Chee.
Wow, thank you for the powerful introduction. Okay, let me fix my screen. Okay. Can you see my PowerPoint? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so I will begin. Good morning, everyone. Good Elken morning, everyone. My name is Chee, and I will be your speaker for today. And to start, I'd like to start with a general introduction of myself. I'm 19 years old. I'm currently a second-year traditional Chinese medicine student, just like my cousin said just now. And I studied in the United States for 6 years before coming back to Malaysia. Now, what I really like about Elken's products is that it has a whole concept that's structured to make sure that we live our healthy lives, and we take these products to ensure that we stay healthy. Okay, so first of all, I'd like to thank Elken for always giving us these powerful and wonderful products, and for giving us this opportunity to introduce these products to our friends and family so that they can all stay healthy and happy. And secondly, I'd like to thank my parents, Papa and Mami, for always guiding me and being patient with me. And also, I'd like to thank everyone who's here. Thank you for always coming to support. And I understand, I learned from the previous sharings that we can help a lot of people become more health conscious, because not many people today really know how their body functions and how they can stay healthy. Okay, so by sharing, I like to help more people learn about their health, become more health conscious, and care about their health before they get sick. And just like WHO puts it, prevention is always better than cure. So today, we're going to talk about a very powerful product called Kington Mineral. Okay, so before I get into the topic, we're going to talk about Elken's molecular reform therapy concept. Now, this is a therapy concept that has been approved by a lot of professionals, and what this therapy concept does is that it tells us that because our bodies are made out of organ systems, and organ systems are made out of organs, and organs are made out of tissues, and at the smallest level, we have cells. So human health begins from our body cells. And when we get sick, it means that our cells are sick, and there are 6 different reasons that can lead to unhealthy cells, and these include imbalanced diet, air pollution, water pollution, daily stress, lack of exercise, and unhealthy lifestyle. And all of these at the cellular level will slowly damage our tissues, lead to damage in our organs, our organ systems, and then it will lead to diseases in the body. So that's why we need balanced nutrition. That's why we take Elken's products, especially Kington Mineral today. I'm going to talk about why it's so powerful. And in Elken's MRT program, we have 4 MRT steps. First, we provide our body with balanced nutrition at the smallest level, at the cellular level, and we provide increased oxygen intake, detoxification, and we regulate our health. So that's how we can have a healthy body. So what's special about Elken's Kington is that Elken is the first non-medical institution and the first direct selling company to sell Kington. I'm going to talk about the history of Kington later on, but this is something that we all should be proud of because our company is so powerful. It's the first institution, the first non-medical institution. So if you really want to get Kington, get it from Elken. Okay, now let's get into our topic, Kington Mineral. So what is this product? What can it do for us? And what is so special about this product? Now let's find out together. Now, in today's world, many people are facing what we call modern day disease. And these include neurotransmitter imbalance in our brain, chronic fatigue, stress, depression, hormone imbalance, cardiovascular related issues, respiratory related issues. Especially today we have COVID-19. It's a whole pandemic issue. It concerns our whole world. And slow recovery from trauma, injury, surgery, and improper gene expression that leads to cancer. And you probably have come across people who tell you, I'm not happy, I'm depressed. And they tell you some of their philosophies like depression is different from sadness. It's so much worse. And have you thought about why it's so common? Like there's even playlists on YouTube that are called what? Sad songs for sad people, okay? And there's actually a lot of sad people out there. So how can we help these people become happy? So we have to look at the data, okay? 1 in 4 people today suffer from depression. And it's a very common, widespread thing. And various studies have linked urban living to poor mental health. So because cities are becoming more and more like, for me, I live in KL, it's a city place, and a lot of cities are becoming more and more common, okay? And this leads to poor mental health. There's a correlation. And how is this related to disease? So depression, we mentioned this before. One of the causes of depression is electrolyte imbalance. And this is when the body is slowed down because the body doesn't have the ability to produce energy to work. Okay, so we have depression. And ADHD, this is a problem that some children face, and they are displayed by hyperreactivity and learning difficulties. And the cause that's underlying this problem is that they have imbalance of minerals and heavy metals in their body. And thirdly, we have autism. And I have many friends who have autism, and studies have shown that these children diagnosed with autistic spectrum disorder, they contain an abnormal level of minerals in their body. So that's why minerals are really important. And our daily activities, they use up and deplete our body's store of minerals. And what this means is that every day we're using so much energy that we can't really function properly because our body doesn't have enough minerals to function properly. And what minerals are? They're just like batteries in a remote control, okay? It gets depleted, and when the time comes up, you have to change the batteries in your remote. Similarly, we need the energy to function properly. That's why we need to find the proper batteries for our body. Okay, so why do we need minerals? It's because our bodies can't produce minerals. Just like last week, I mentioned vitamin C. Our body can't produce vitamin C. And similarly, our body can't produce minerals, and we need to obtain minerals from our diet. And for many parents, you probably know that your children need to take minerals, to take fruits and vegetables, because they have these minerals and vitamins that are essential for our bodies to function properly. And why do we not get enough minerals in our food nowadays? It's because modern day farming techniques, they rely on fertilizers. And these plants, they do not contain enough or balanced minerals. So that's why we don't get enough minerals from our food. Here, from this data, you can see we compared apples from 80 years ago to the apples today. And the calcium levels dropped by 48% since 1914 to today, 2021, okay? It dropped by 48.15%. And phosphorus dropped by 84.51. And it's obvious that in just 80 years, the mineral content of one medium apple has decreased. That's why we don't get enough minerals from our diet. And imagine how many apples we need to eat today to get the same amount of minerals we can get from an apple taken 80 years ago, right? So there's a direct correlation between the decline in mineral content in our food and an increase in mineral deficiency diseases. So what are mineral deficiency diseases? Now, studies show that there's an increase in the correlation between decline in mineral content and an increase in mineral deficiency diseases. And in mineral deficiency diseases include cancer, obesity, heart conditions, bone deformities, lung and bronchus problems, and tinnitus. All of these are becoming more and more common. You can see the graph is growing exponentially as the amount of minerals in our food is declining, okay? And in the market, where can we find a mineral supplement that can give us high bioavailability of elements and a balanced composition of minerals, as well as trace minerals? Now, that's why we're going to introduce Kington Mineral. Okay, where's my phone? Okay, Kington Mineral. Now, the history about this product is that it was discovered by René Quinton, a French scientist, biologist, physiologist, and a humanitarian and inventor back in the 1800s. And compendium, he wrote this book called the Le Disperser Marine, and he documented 2,000 case studies that show the effects of Kington for his patients. And this formula has been used for over 100 years and has been supported by extensive clinical documents. Now, because the water cycle washes all of the nutrients from the land all the way into the sea. And where did all of our nutrients go? We mentioned that it's not in our food anymore, so it's all into the sea. Now, this makes the sea a storehouse of nutrients. And what this does is, in the sea, we have a vortex, okay? Sometimes there's this vortex that comes along, and when this vortex occurs, it stirs up millions of years of accumulated nutrients from deep down in the ocean floor. Now, this swirl of nutrients, they promote the growth of a phytoplankton, which is kind of like a plant. And this plant, they absorb the sunlight and transform these nutrients, and they become the food source for zooplankton. And then the zooplankton, they secrete these fluids, which is what we call Kington today. And this Kington has around 78 bioavailable elements. Now, humans need at least 70 types of minerals to maintain a healthy body, but Kington can provide you more than that. It can provide you with 78 types of minerals and essential elements. Now, why is bioavailability and balance so important? What does bioavailability mean? Well, bioavailability means, like, for example, if you take this cup of water, okay? If you drink a cup of water, how much is actually absorbed by your body? Let's say it's 70% is absorbed by my body. So 70% is the bioavailability. Now, if we have high bioavailability, it means that if we take these minerals, then a lot of it, a high percentage of it gets absorbed into our body. And inorganic minerals that we take from these sources, they have little or no effect in our body, and our body cannot use them for energy. So that's why bioavailable minerals are so important. They are more than twice as usable compared to inorganic trace minerals. Okay? And the composition of minerals in our food and supplements is extremely important because the human body, it requires minerals to be in a balanced composition. Now, I mentioned back a few weeks ago when I talked about Kington isotonic, that balance is really important in the regulation of our internal terrain. So this is similarly important for the regulation of cell health, okay? Because these minerals, they interact with each other in our body, and an improper balance of these minerals may affect the absorption and metabolism of other minerals. Like, for example, this is just an example, okay? Like, if you take a certain amount of copper, then it might affect how much magnesium you can absorb in your body. Like, similarly, the other nutrients, they all affect the intake of each other. So how can we find a balanced formula that can allow us to take in all of these minerals at the proper level? So these trace minerals, we only need a small amount in the body, but they are very critical to different body functions. And these body functions, like, for example, lithium can help the stabilization of serotonin, which is a very important hormone in our body. And copper can help us fight infections. Selenium, sulfur acid can help in detoxification. Chromium, vanadium can help in the sugar metabolism in the pancreas. And manganese, boron, they can help give us strong bones. Now, the difference between the normal concentration of Kington and Kington Mineral is that in normal conditions, healthy cells, they only selectively choose the minerals that they need. So the minerals, they just move in and out. Whenever the cell needs it, then it can go in. And if the cell doesn't need it, it doesn't go in. And however, when the cell is not healthy, the selection of mineral intake may be affected. So that means if we have abnormal cells in our body, our selection of mineral intake might be affected. So then, for example, our cell might need a certain amount of iron or copper inside the cell. But then because the functions are not properly regulated, it just doesn't get enough, okay? So that's why Kington Mineral has a high bioavailability, and it has a high concentration of minerals, which gives our cells an active transport system whereby the minerals can go right past through the cell membrane and into our cells. Okay. Now, active transport. How does active transport work? Active transport works when the concentration gradient is different. So if we have two sides, like we have inside the cell and outside the cell. Now, if there's a higher concentration of minerals outside the cell, then the minerals from the outside will be forced to go into the cell. And this is known as active transport because our body always wants to maintain homeostasis, which is a balance. So even in concentration levels, the amount of minerals have to be balanced on both sides. So if we have a higher concentration of minerals on one side, it pushes the minerals into the cell. So that's why Kington Mineral is so powerful. It allows these minerals to directly penetrate into the cellular structures. And the benefits of remineralization that's provided by Kington Mineral is that it can help improve our central nervous system function, and it can improve our performance, especially for athletes. Now, Kington Mineral has a high concentration, and this enables it to deliver 78 types of minerals to restore our nervous system back to its normal state, promoting a healthy and positive mood. So this connects back to what I mentioned before about how these diseases, these mental disorders are becoming more common in our society. So that's why we really need this. And case studies. Now, minerals like copper, calcium, magnesium, iron, and potassium, they have been shown to help in reducing depression. And all of these can be provided by Kington Mineral. And ADHD, for kids with ADHD, it affects their studies. And like imagine if you're a parent, you don't want your kids to be affected by the mineral deficiency, right? So it's really important that we replenish the amount of minerals in their body so that they get a proper supplementation and they can study better. And the minerals like chromium, magnesium, zinc, they can have a calming effect for these children. And in Europe, there's a therapy called Chee's therapy. And in Chee's therapy, they use Kington Mineral as part of their treatment to treat autism. And this is developed by Dr. Tynes Smits. And he has recorded over 300 cases of successful treatment in autistic patients. And this has helped them become normal again. So this is really powerful. And the complete composition containing 78 bioavailable trace elements, it helps nourish our nervous system and is suitable for people of all ages, from a child all the way up to an elderly person. And it can help delay the degradation of our brain performance and the onset of diseases. So it's really a powerful supplement for elders and also for students like me who are studying, because we use our brains a lot and we really need this kind of supplementation. And it helps improve central nervous system function. And so just like mentioned before, we have these 78 trace elements that can help restore the proper functions so we can have a healthy mind and body. Now, this quick delivery of bioavailable minerals, they can help enable our body to constantly stay at peak performance. So this is really beneficial for athletes, for people, especially for people who are working from home. Now we're under MCO, we're under lockdown. A lot of people are working from home. And because your eyes are constantly facing a screen, your energy gets depleted really fast, faster than normal rate. So Kington Mineral can help us quickly recover from fatigue and muscle damage, as well as mental damage. And it can give us all the required minerals for cellular restoration and rejuvenation. Okay? And an electrolyte imbalance in our body has been shown to slow down our body's ability to work and produce energy. And high concentration of minerals, what high concentration does, if you've taken Kington Mineral, you probably know that it's saltier. So this means that it's higher in concentration compared to Kington isotonic. So this enables the minerals to be absorbed, quickly delivered to our cells that need them. Okay, and studies have shown that consumption has showed improved performance and better recovery when they consume Kington Mineral. Now, for sports performance, for people who are athletes, like my cousin Lucas, like he's a well-known athlete, and studies have shown that it has improved sports performance by 73% from day 0 to day 30, and it can boost muscle recovery by 60%. And because mineral imbalance, it's the cause of many preventable problems like stress, depression, slow injury recovery. And if you don't cure it when it's just like at the basic level, it's just stress and depression, right? If you don't cure it when it's just such a small, simple disease, it might get worse and it might become the diseases we mentioned before, like cancer. Okay, so don't let all of these small diseases affect you just because you have a mineral imbalance in your body. So that's why gain control of your life today. Take Kington Mineral. And this is recommended for children and adults and for people of all ages. And for children, it can help replenish minerals, and this is really important for growth. And it can also help ensure that their brains develop healthily and properly, right? And adults, it can replenish trace minerals lost in our body due to stress and overwork. And because our daily lives, we use up a lot of this energy. And just like I mentioned before, it's just like a battery in a remote control. So Kington Mineral is the best battery for your body. Okay? It can replenish all of the minerals that's lost in your body due to stress and overwork. And it can rebuild the mineral stores in your body so your brain can properly function. And because during our daily lives, we're constantly affected by imbalanced diet, unhealthy lifestyles, all of the different causes that lead to this depletion of minerals. So that's why this is really important that we ensure that mineral intake is enough. And for the elderly people, Kington Mineral can help nourish the cells in their body with the trace minerals to help delay the degradation of brain function, because we know that it's more common for people who are older, for elders, to develop neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's disease and some disease where they just start to lose their memory. Okay, so this Kington Mineral can really help them improve their brain function and regulate their brain function. Okay, and the high concentration of minerals in Kington Mineral can counteract the low absorption due to old age. Because of the active transport mechanism, it can push the minerals into the cell. So the cell doesn't have to work to bring the minerals into the cell. So this is really convenient for elderly people. And for sports people, for people who are sportsmen, high concentration of minerals in Kington Mineral can rapidly help replenish the energy that you need for your body to recover and to make sure that you have prolonged performance and high endurance. And this can increase your body recovery after a sports session. And for the sick and injured, the Kington Mineral can provide a high availability of minerals so that your body can, so that your immune system can be strengthened, and it can promote faster recovery from sickness. And we recommend that Kington Mineral be taken 1 to 2 vials twice per day. And it's most effective when you consume it on an empty stomach 30 minutes before meals or 2 hours after meals. So this is the recommended consumption. And as for quality assurance, we have a certificate of registration from the United States of America, and we have other certifications like the ISO certification, and this is manufactured according to the GMP guidelines, the Good Manufacturing Practices of the European standard, and it's also halal, so it's suitable for our Muslim friends. Now, I shared about Kington Isotonic a few months ago. I think it was last month, okay? And what makes Kington Isotonic different from Kington Mineral? Because they are generally made out of the same ingredients. So what makes them different is their concentration. And the concentration actually affects their function. Now, in normal concentration, like in the case of Kington Isotonic, this helps maintain a balanced internal terrain for optimum health. And for Kington Mineral, it has a higher concentration of minerals. So this gives it an active transport process that helps enhance our overall energy. And this is more targeted for our nervous system to help our nerve function properly and to regulate our mental health. And this really helps for people with depression, for other mental illnesses, for people dealing with some emotional problems. Because there's actually, usually you would think when you see a person with a mental disorder or an emotional disorder, you would think that it's an emotional cause, but sometimes it may be a physical cause. Like in this case, they are probably low in minerals. So if you increase the amount of minerals in their body, then it can solve the problem for them. Okay, so this is the difference between the two. Now, you might be wondering, if you add some water into Kington Mineral, does that make it Kington isotonic? The answer is no, because Kington isotonic is formulated with a very professional technology that makes sure that the amount of minerals inside the solution is exactly proportional and similar to our blood, our plasma. So it's really different. So mixing water to Kington Mineral doesn't make it Kington isotonic. So that's why we have these two different products, okay? And of course, if you combine the two, the health benefits increase, okay? So we recommend that you take both of these together, and it can be really beneficial to regulate your general health. And so this is it for my presentation. Thank you, everyone. That's it for my presentation. So take Kington Mineral. If you like this product, recommend it to your friends. Take it yourself. It's really going to help you, especially during this pandemic. Make sure that your brain, your body is in balance, and it's also regulated properly, and you don't have a mineral depletion. So that's it for my presentation today. Thank you, everyone, for listening. That's it for today's presentation. And there's something I'd like to share about next week. I think we need to announce the speaker for next week. Okay, let me share the screen. Now, this is my cousin, Quinn. She was my MC for, I think, 2 weeks ago, and she's going to be speaking next week. So make sure you come and support, because this is a very powerful product. It has been, Elken has had this product for more than 20 years. So it's a really powerful product. It's #1 spirulina of Elken. So stay in tune, stay in touch, come back next week. We'll see you guys next week. Okay, back to MC. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you, Chee, for an enlightening and informational presentation on the benefits of Kington. Appreciate your clear explanation on why we need to consume such a powerful product. I've definitely learned a lot more knowledge on such an essential product. Well done. I hope everyone has benefited from this sharing, and please remember to take your daily supplements for a better health. Stay safe, take care, and have a good night. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you, Lucas. Thank you, Chee.
Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, one photo, please. Speaker and MC.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Excellent. Young man team. Super excellent speaker and MC. Thank you. Now we go to BM